Q&As to all together. It's a Saturday day. I don't usually plan on doing these type of videos on weekends, but I'm gonna be real for you guys. I'm kind of just bored. I really am. Nothing really to do. I mean, I can't hang out with any of my friends. They're busy, and plus, they don't even contact me even before this whole pandemic. So I figured give this Q&A a shot. See if we get anybody coming on. If you have any questions or any comments, you can put in the chat below. I'll try to answer, and respond as honestly and efficiently as I can. Some questions I'll have to really think about. Again, no, try not to do a whole lot of politics, not really into the politic thing. I think it's dumb. Don't ask questions about the whole pandemic. I guess YouTube's very strict about that kind of thing, so try to keep that limited. So far we have nobody online right now, so I guess we could talk about my thoughts on the recent WWE releases from this past week. So we've had quite a few names released. Everybody knows the story by now. On one hand, I'm happy that some of the talent's gone because some of those talent needed to leave because they weren't being utilized. However, at the same time, it was the way they got fired that was dumb. And apparently, WWE released them to say, quote unquote, save money, which so far they've saved like over $4 million right now. But the fact is, they're actually doing fine right now because they're not running shows in the arenas or doing house shows. And even if you knew this, house shows recently have been terrible. Like they'll run arenas like in Oakland, Madison Square Garden. They don't always do well. They actually lose money because when you have to go to a venue, you have to rent it out. You have to pay for it. You can't just go, hey, let's take this venue, it'll be free. You have to pay for it. You have to pay rent to borrow it for that day. And they expect you with these shows to get the money back. They pack the shows so that way the venue can get their money back. And unfortunately, they don't do that because house shows have been tanking. The Raw SmackDowns, only maybe like half the people show up. Usually you'll get either pay-per-views or takeovers are usually the ones that are more like full or Mania. But like the regular shows, weekly shows, they're like only like half of them are available or there, or there's barely anybody at the house shows. So that kind of sucks. So really, WWE using these releases as an excuse pisses me off because WWE could still keep these guys around and they'd be just fine. They got lots of money still. In fact, they're saving money by not even doing these arena or house shows at the moment. I've always said to reduce the amount of house shows because on numerous reasons. First of all, your talent has to overwork these shows and they're more likely to get hurt or injured. And also, you gotta pay more money to go to these venues. To help pay for these venues, to rent these venues out, you gotta pay more money, and you're just wasting money on house shows that aren't really doing well. So, WWE could have just kept all the talent and it would have been fine. But they had to release some of these people. The Mike Chioda one actually was the most shocking. The fact that he's been referee for over 30 years. That surprised me. Like I said, I can't just sugarcoat. I can't just go around and say, oh, like I feel bad for everybody. Because I do. I do feel bad for everybody. But let's be honest, there was some of that talent that needed to get fired because they weren't doing anything. But then also the problem is because they are gone, they had to wait 3 months before they could compete. And even if they wanted to compete like right away, they couldn't because of this whole pandemic. So, because a lot of the wrestling companies aren't hiring. They're trying to save money. And so, on one hand, EC3's gone, which everyone else likes. Again, I never understood EC3. I'll admit that right now. I never understood the guy. I was never a fan of him, even in TNA. I never got why people liked him. But people liked him. And people were pissed that he was being utilized, but he's gone. So whenever this thing boils down and it cools off, EC3 can go wherever he wants. But at the same time, you have people like Drake Maverick, who actually liked the position he was at. He loved being a company guy. You know, he was very well respected. And he made that video, and that really hurt. I do feel bad for Drake Maverick for that. So I hope wherever he goes next, he'll be fine. I mean, look at the bright side. At least he's healthy. He looks like he's still got money, and he's got an extremely hot wife, Renee Michelle. I don't know what Rey Michelle is doing at this moment. I think she's a wrestler, but she's doing a lot of modeling. But I don't know if she models still. We'll have to wait and see what happens to that. Gallows and Anderson, that was another one that kind of confused me because they just signed new contracts. I was kind of surprised on that. And the Revival asked for their release. They were never released by WWE. They asked for their release before the whole major releases. But there was a lot of talent that were very shocking to being released. A lot of agents. Some NXT talent now have been released. And apparently we are still in the process of more eliminations. Now, this does not mean, because people have made this comparison, and I don't want to sound like an asshole when I say this, but it does kind of bother me a bit. And people have pointed this out on, I can't help but can't 100% disagree. When I says, I mean this cold-heartedly, I don't like seeing anybody get fired, especially this way. I don't like anybody getting released, and then not only getting released, they can barely work or not work out because of this situation. That sucks, okay? I'm going to say it right now. I do feel bad for all the talent that got released because now they can't go anywhere at the moment. So I do feel bad. But if you really need to save money by releasing talent, why not get rid of some of the guys that are actually worth 5 times as much? Like Tyson Fury. He had that one showing at Saudi Arabia, and that was it. I think it's like, what, $15 million? He's a boxer. He's not a wrestler. I don't understand why they even signed him to begin with. Cain Velasquez, he had that one match, and he's been gone for a while. I'm assuming he's probably still injured, but I never understood that. You know, I think Ronda Rousey will be making a return soon, so I would not throw that out the window. Brock Lesnar, you know, he'll come in from time to time from Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views. So he'll show a little bit more frequently than the others. But then you also have Goldberg, who admitted that he was only going to wrestle for 2 shows this year. He already has 2 matches, so what's the deal? I mean, does the guy really need the money? And I think the guy's already a millionaire. He's already got a lot of money. I think he can support his family. He'll be just fine. Again, not trying to sound like a dick, but it kind of just it makes me scratch my head going, if they're trying to save money, which is bullshit because they got a lot of money, they are not losing money. They're actually saving money. Why not get rid of some of the guys that actually aren't going to be there? They're literally sitting there, not being active. And if anything, if most of the money that they're spending is actually on this Titan Towers thing. I guess they're moving out of Connecticut or moving into the new Titan Towers location, which is where most of the money's going. So if they really wanted to save money, they would just cancel Titan Towers or put it on hold. So that's how I see things. I think these releases suck, but at the same time, some of them were needed to be released because they were not going anywhere. But at the same time, the way they were released sucks because now they can't really go anywhere. I mean, let's be honest. If it weren't for this pandemic, a lot of these people we'd be cheering for they were gone because they deserve to do better things. But because of how the situation is, once you're released, you're kind of stuck. There's barely any work out there because of the situation at hand. And this day, we don't even know how long this thing could happen. In the United States, we're the worst. In the United States, we're in the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the affected. Italy was number one. Now Italy's making fun of us. They're laughing at us. We're still growing in the US and it's bad. While everyone else is starting to decrease, we're increasing way more than it should. So I just want to give my thoughts about the release of Superstars. It really does suck. I can't lie though and say I'm kind of happy that some of them did get released because they weren't being utilized. But at the same time, it's also unfair because now they don't have any work, at least at the moment. I hope they can find work. I hope this thing can boil down. I hope this thing can end soon. I've always said myself like this whole thing could have been over with in a month if everyone just stuck to the rules. But all it takes is one person to screw up. So now we're all suffering the consequences. So I really hope this thing could end soon. Because again, we don't know when this will end. This could end in July. This could end in September. It could go all the way to 2021. We could have this virus or this whole whatever it is up to a year. So this is going to be one of the darkest years in history. And it's going to suck for a lot of people. They're going to be losing their jobs. But it sucks, but that's the way of life. So, with that being said, like I said, this is a Q&A. We got quite a few people here. Hopefully we get some more in here soon. Again, you can send me your questions. I'm going to go ahead and kind of answer some of these comments here while I get people kind of rolling in and asking questions, all that other stuff. So we got Will Ferrell. I feel bad for Drake Maverick. He is so talented and underrated. Yeah, I did honestly feel bad for him. That video did get to me a bit. We got Creeps. Haven't heard that guy in a while. Hey man, how you doing? That Drake Maverick video really struck my heart. Yeah, like I said, that really did hurt. The amount of money they Paley quote saved was the same amount of money Goldberg could pay at Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Well, for again, do you think Drake Maverick will go AEW or NWA? Well, again, this day has to end first because let's be honest, AEW should not be hiring anybody else anyway because everyone needs to be on a budget. Okay, they need to play this safe. Personally, I would not mind seeing Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick could be signed by WWE again. WWE could hire Drake Maverick again. But I would like to see Drake Maverick go back somewhere. I don't want everybody going to AEW because there's certain people I really don't want to be associated with AEW. Have Drake Maverick go back to Impact. With EC3, I think them as a duo always worked. And it could bring some more life into Impact, more viewers. Drake Maverick, like I said, could go to NWA. I think that would be a very interesting choice, something different. I assume going to Impact. Yep. So Chris responded. King Cigar 94. Sensing finally has moment for WrestleMania. I just had to get that out there. Yeah, but unfortunately his match sucked and it's very unforgettable. And it's Big Larry to you. I got corrected in that. It's Big Larry. Drake Maverick got that 24/7 title so over. Yep, him and R-Truth. But let's be honest. Besides those few little moments, the 24/7 title needs to be dead and buried. I really hope they don't fire Bo Curtis. Yeah, well, I do want them gone, but I don't want them gone right now, at least under these circumstances. Under circumstances, I don't want them gone. But once everything clears, I think they should go and immediately go somewhere else because they're way too talented to be wasted. Hell, so just send them back to NXT. You know, make it a more serious gimmick. I mean, NXT needs more tag teams. Why not put them back on NXT? They cut back on doing unique sets for pay-per-views. They strip Pyro, back Pyro. None of these seem to get them anywhere. Hi, Preston. Flynn 14. That's Harry Flynn. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. They should have at least waited until the current circumstances were over. Yeah. It's definitely one of the worst years in recent memory. Yeah. I've always said this. As somebody actually pointed out, this was by far one of the darkest days of wrestling I can remember. I don't know what the last wrestling, besides the Chris Benoit incident in 07. I think this is definitely going to go up as one of the darkest days in wrestling history, by far, was this year alone. So, no, Laura. So far, I enjoyed Chris Jericho's on commentary on AEW. Yeah, I think if Chris Jericho, whenever he decides to retire from the ring, I think he needs to be a gig at commentary. Because he is very good. I'll admit that right now. He is very good. I'm really looking forward to seeing that Money in the Bank ladder match this year. As long as it's not cinematic. Because at this point, I am actually done with cinematic matches. When they did the Boneyard match, I thought, okay, that was cool. Then they did the Firefly Finals. I thought that was an acid trip. I thought, okay, that was fun. Then they did Ciampa Gargano. That dragged on way too long. I'm like, okay, this is kind of getting boring. No more cinematic matches. We need breaks. So I really hope this Money in the Bank ladder match is not cinematic. Do not make cinematic. Just keep it a straightforward match because I'm already getting sick of cinematic matches now. Plus, I still don't even know how this whole thing is going to work. I'm still confused. Who do you want to see win Money in the Bank? Well, it's kind of hard to see. I really want Cesaro to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match, but God forbid we get somebody new over. So when it comes to the men's, so far we have Daniel Bryan. On Raw, we have Aleister Black versus Austin Theory. I believe Aleister Black will win that. Then we got Mysterio and Buddy Murphy. I want Buddy Murphy to win, but I think it's going to be Mysterio. And then MVP Apollo, I think it's going to be Apollo Crews. So that'll be 4 out of the 6, right? Yeah, and then we got Corbin and Drew Gulak for Friday. See, right now, as it stands, if Buddy Murphy wins his qualifying match in this Money in the Bank, I would want Buddy Murphy to win at this point. For the women's, it should have been Ruby Riott. But Ruby Riott's not going to be in the match, so again, I have to really figure out, because honestly, I don't know why they're doing 6 men. I've always liked the whole 8-man ladder match thing. It's just better. They're really doing 6, so I'm like, okay, whatever. Now I'm gonna figure like who I want to win, because at this moment I don't know who's gonna win. I don't even know who's in the Money in the Bank ladder match. We don't. We know Daniel Bryan is, and we know 3 will be answered on Monday. We'll know another one on SmackDown. And then the women's, we still have a few more spots. So it just depends. Like I said, I'm more curious to see how this match is going to turn out more than anything. If it's cinematic, I will be annoyed. I will go on a rant because I can't stand these cinematic matches anymore. We need breaks. I don't mind having them do them from time to time, but not for a Money in the Bank ladder match, and not all the fucking time. Bear in mind, Big Larry is recovering from his injuries, from what I'm hearing, so it's sad to say he may not be wrestling as good as once said. Yeah, fair enough. No, great. How now Charlotte will bury the NXT Women's Division. Yeah, I'm not a fan. If you want to know my thoughts about that, you could go watch my WrestleMania review. I did like a 15-minute rant on that. I don't care what anybody says, that is bullshit. I don't care what Alex says. Charlotte is the female Roman Reigns, if not the female Triple H back in the Reign of Terror days. I'll say that right now. I don't care what the excuses are. I'm 100% right. You're never going to convince me otherwise. They start at the ground floor of WWE headquarters, have to make their way up the roof where there will be a ring with the briefcase suspended above it. Okay, see, I'm trying to picture it. I don't even know how. My head hurts. My head hurts. I have to see this in person because I still can't. Someone's gonna need to show me this. I hope WWE shows like a diagram or like a simulated video how this is gonna work. Because I don't know how this is gonna work. I have no idea. I feel like they'll do what they did with the Brock Lesnar and had Ronda Rousey win it. So far I'm enjoying playing Personnel 5 Royal. Just been working, drawing, keeping myself normal. Fair enough. Since it's on the roof, Ronda will arrive in a helicopter and grab the briefcase. Okay. So Creeps still look like. So it looks like he saw that Ronda's gonna win. We'll see. Charlotte winning at WrestleMania was not cool. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, again, you can watch my rant. I don't want to get into that. At this point, I don't even care who wins the fucking NXT Women's title, as long as it's not Charlotte holding it. Anybody. Like, seriously, anybody. Just get that title off of Charlotte. Seth Rollins should not be the number one contender, by the way. Kevin Owens should. Well, technically, yes, because he did win, but, you need a heel. If you want to get McIntyre over as a babyface, you need a strong heel. I mean, you can always have Samoa Joe return and turn heel, but he's out right now. I don't know where he is. And Seth Rollins is the number one heel on Raw next to Lesnar. And honestly, Rollins and Drew McIntyre doesn't make me mad that they're doing that. But if anything, I think honestly they should put Kevin Owens in the Money Bank briefcase ladder match. But because there are only 6 spots and they have already their spot filled for Raw, that's kind of stupid. I think honestly they should put Kevin Owens loose in the Money Bank ladder match. If he was in it, then he probably would have been one of my picks to win. Drew Barrett have a long title reign. Okay. I don't want to just have him a long reign. I want to have a good reign. You could give somebody a long reign and it sucks. Like Brock Lesnar. I do think, McIntyre should hold on to the belt for a while. At least until the summer. But he needs to be booked like a champion. He needs to be booked well. And so far, they're doing right with them. They're actually doing, to give WWE credit, they are doing an actual solid job with Drew McIntyre right now. They just need to keep it up now. Now the question is, who will be the one to take the briefcase or the title off of him? I have no idea. They could give it to Lashley. I'm not too fond of that, but Lashley's like a very low guy right now. Maybe once Lashley leaves for Lana, maybe he goes back to be his old dominant force. Him and McIntyre have a sort of history. I would like to see Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre go at it. Now, I'm not saying Jinder should win the title, but I think they should have a brief little feud. There's history with them. Worst Jeff Hardy moment that almost made you give up on him? Well, I was never a Jeff Hardy fan. That's the thing. I've never been that big of a fan of his. I've always thought he was overrated, and I always thought Matt was the better wrestler. Really, it's just Jeff's personal past. His personal life is what keeps him down. It's just he's an addict. He was sober for years, and we're like, wow, he's doing good now. But then recently you heard he's been getting drunk. He was driving intoxicated. This guy needs help. And when he came back, I'm not happy he's back. I was never that big of a Jeff Hardy fan. Never have, never will be. I've always been a bigger fan of Matt. That's just me being honest. A lot of people love Jeff Hardy, but me, I was not one of them. I never was that big of a fan of Jeff Hardy. Just never was. I've watched Raw for a while and just read about or watched highlights, so it's so painful to watch nowadays. I hope Owens gets inserted in my ladder match. I love Owens as a babyface. Owens is great. In my opinion, Owens falls in that category of like Christian, where, or like The Rock. It doesn't matter where you put him at, whether it's a babyface or heel, he can make it work. And he's really good at both. And I think Owens, honestly, he's a great heel, but I think he's just as good as a babyface, like a badass babyface. So I do think Kevin Owens should be inserted in Money Bank. Why not just make it 8-man? Just make it 8-man Money Bank ladder match. Have Kevin Owens be part of it for the last participant of Raw. And if they do, have him win Money in the Bank. I mean, why not? Because at this point, I don't know who will win. From the lineup so far, I can't tell who will win. I can't tell you. I mean, maybe Daniel Bryan would be the obvious, but as much as I love Bryan, I want to see somebody else win the briefcase. And Kevin Owens has never won the briefcase. I still think he should back in 2016, but it is what it is. Thoughts on the new Dark Side rings, Jimmy? I never watched the new Darks. I don't watch Dark Side. Tell you that right now, I don't watch the Dark Side stuff. I'm not even that big a fan of documentaries. I really am not. The Dark Side Ring never interests me. The Benoit thing never interests me. The Brawl for All never interests me. Nothing about Dark Side Ring really interests me, and never was like, oh, I have to watch that. It's not my thing. It really is not my thing. If you want to ask more questions, go listen to that Alex World. Go listen to some other podcasters. Watch Solid Monster. He'll go more detail with these Dark Side of Rain stuff. But if you want to talk about Dark Side of Rain, I'm the last person you want to talk about it because I do not watch them. What happened with Mauro Ranallo? I guess they're just keeping him off TV. I mean, I know he was on that episode of NXT not like a few weeks ago, commentary. But I guess they just want to try keep everybody distant as much as possible. I have no idea. I can't answer that. I really can't. I'm not WWE on that one. I haven't heard anything about that. The particular reason why, I'm assuming because they don't want everybody getting risk of possibly getting this affected. Maybe I have no idea. That's the only thing I can think of. Let's see here. If you could have one dream match at WrestleMania happen, what would it be? Oh, I've been Sting and Taker. And I'm talking about like them in their prime, like at least 5 years ago. Easily. Not even a question. But if I had to pick another match that was not that, two main accounts, Stone Cold and CM Punk. Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan. Few others, at least if there's got to be at least a few others. Daniel Bryan and Kurt Angle. Just to name a few. Do you see Shane McMahon returning? I don't know. Maybe one day, but right now he's not a priority. No, he's working backstage, I think as an agent, writer, and stuff like that. We don't need to see him on screen at the moment. I think we can wait on him. I mean, him coming back is not going to change anything. Let's just kind of let things settle. And no, I do think he will be back, but I think we need to wait first before this. We'll have to wait and see. I want to see Owens and Zayn at WrestleMania for my dream match at Mania Kurt roster. I think they should have done that match back at WrestleMania 32. I still think that should have been the 1-1 match. But instead for the Intercontinental Championship, it'd been for the United States Championship. And have them basically have the match they had either at Payback or maybe have the match at Payback at WrestleMania. But you want you can have Owens still win there, and then you build that feud up. Can you remember a time where a wrestler owned another wrestler that made you laugh? Well, one of the ones that I recently watched not too long ago was the one where Mick Foley called out The Rock. And he asked The Rock, "So how are you feeling?" And The Rock's about to answer, and Mick Foley just goes, "It doesn't matter how you feel." And Ron starts running around the ring, chanting, "Foley, Foley." You see The Rock just start losing. He's just laughing. That's one of the funniest moments, I think, in terms of like owning somebody, or at least a wrestler. Just one of those fun moments. I always laugh at that. Um, there's others. I mean, anything probably with Punk, like against John Cena, stuff like that. There's a lot. Like there's a lot. I have to really think about all the ones that I really enjoy, but at least recently, I would say Mick Foley and The Rock one. I just think that one's just hilarious. Um, I think that was a good one right there. Um, let's see here. So we're getting some people in here, which is nice. Which is cool. So how long have we been going right now? About over a half hour. Over a half hour right now. Fair wrestler breaking character in a ring that was just funny. Oh shit. No, Laura. Oh. That was just funny. Um. Oh damn. You're asking the real good ones here. Yeah, probably one of the funniest ones you see in the house show where Undertaker's at a house show and he grabs the water bottle, throwing his head, he's just running around like Ultimate Warrior. I mean, that's the one I can think of at the moment. Um, when Brock was legitimately laughing when R-Truth made him laugh, like for being stupid. That one time, Brock had no idea R-Truth was supposed to come out and he just lost it. I thought that was great. Again, just like the last question you asked me, it's just one of those things where there's a lot I have to just really think about, try to remember everything. Do you still watch anime? Well, here's the thing. It's probably been a while, but I'll answer this question again. I do not watch anime. Anime is not my thing. That's my sister. And that is Brandon. Brandon's the anime fan. My sister's an anime fan. The only anime I actually like would be like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Trigun. Again, like I said, I have some anime, but anime's not my favorite thing. I do like Summer Wars, which I just watched recently again. I found the DVD, which is really hard to find now. I ended up watching that like a few weeks ago, and I still love that movie. But yeah, I'm not as big of an anime fan as a lot of other people, but there are some anime that I do enjoy. Wait, Brock didn't know R-Truth was going to come out. Well, if you remember the reports when R-Truth came out with this, so the reports were that no one told Brock Lesnar what was going to happen for the segment. They were just going to cut a promo and someone was going to come out. R-Truth came out and was cutting that promo. And Brock was loving it. And you heard reports saying that Brock loved that segment R-Truth so much that he actually told backstage officials saying, "Hey, I would love to work with R-Truth." Which, because of WrestleMania being in the LA again. That's why a lot of people were saying like we need to have like those Hollywood skits that we got like we got at WrestleMania 21, like Jason Monster said, and we need to have like a buddy cop movie like Brock Lesnar, R-Truth. I think would be great. So Brock wants to work with R-Truth, from what I've heard. And it was all because of that segment. Brock just thought R-Truth was hilarious. He would love to work with him. Remember the time Undertaker was on fire, Elimination Chamber, and Power Guy Fire? Well, correction. Elimination Chamber 2010. Because I was at Elimination Chamber 2001, which again was my very first wrestling show I ever attended live. It was Elimination Chamber 2011. Taker did not wrestle that night. It's Elimination Chamber 2010 where Taker got set on fire. But I do remember that moment. Brock has as of late. Okay, your thing kind of got a little screwed up. I think I know what you're saying though. Like I said, Brock has the same mentality as Randy Orton. When they feel motivated, and when they are motivated, they they are really good at what they do, and they can have some great matches. But when they're not motivated, when they feel like this is a waste of time, they just go through the motions. They don't give a shit. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Well, for thoughts on the Otis and Mandy Rose storyline, tell you what, go watch Solid Monster. His thoughts are exactly the same thing as mine. I'm going to leave it at that. Go listen to Solid Monster. And if you do listen to him, you know what his thoughts are on storyline, then you know what my thoughts are. Plus, I've talked about countless times on this channel. So, would you take Hiko or Brock back to? Wait. Would you take Hako or Brock to back you up in a fight? Hako, I don't know who Hako is. Unless you meant Haku. I think, did you mean like Haku, like Kin Haku? Oh, Haku. Haku easily. Because Brock would hurt you. Haku could literally kill you. People were afraid of Haku. People would be afraid of Brock because they would break their arms. People would be afraid of Haku because he would rip their throat out. Haku could kill you. No one fucked with Haku. People still stand to this day. Haku's one of the baddest men in the business. He's a guy you do not fuck with. So I'd take Haku over Brock Lesnar any day. Big Show versus Drew apparently happened after WrestleMania for the title. LO. Yeah, it did. So technically, Big Show headlined a WrestleMania for a second time. Favorite wrestler theme that you can't stop listening in your head? Shit. Well, again, I love all wrestler themes. Edges I love, Chris's I loved. Lance Archer now is actually one of the ones that's getting stuck in my head. I love Lance Archer's theme. Bullet Club, amazing theme. I love that theme. The current Bullet Club theme, not the very old one when the group first formed. Stone Cold's Glass Shatters, can't speak, theme by Disturbed. That I always love that theme. Like I'll say that's still the best Stone Cold theme ever. You can fight me on that. I love the Disturbed theme for Stone Cold. I think that is still his best theme. It's just badass. Plus, I'm a Disturbed fan, so. Wrestling moves that made you happy cry. Oh, so many. The Bayley Sasha Banks matches from Brooklyn and Respect. I cried on those. I'm not afraid, man. I got emotional. I love those moments. When Edge returned, I almost cried. I did live reactions. I almost cried. I mean, because that was just an awesome moment. Kind of going back, A and Chris Benoit winning the title, that does get me a little bit emotional. especially what happened to them both like a few years later after that. It is sad, but just that moment is happy. But those are the ones I can think of at the top of my head, like that I can think of. Until Velveteen Dream wins the WWE Championship, then wait. Spoiler. Do you like Lucky 3PS? Is it that one female fan that's always commenting, like doing reactions on the clips and stuff on WWE? She's been to a few shows and stuff like that. If that's that one chick, the one lead that does like that reaction content for WWE, she seems cool. I mean, she's not my favorite thing in the whole wide world, but she's a lot. I would say she's a lot more positive than somebody like Jim Cornette. I think that kind of sums it up. Imagine if Edge went to TNA during the glory years of that company. I don't know if Edge would have been the big star he would have. And you got to think about it. If we're talking about Edge, like never went to WWE, like period, went to TNA. I don't know if Edge would become the big star he was. I don't know. Maybe, but his time at WWE, he became one of the biggest names in wrestling. He was one of the faces of the Ruthless Aggression era. He was one of the faces of SmackDown. He was the top heel on SmackDown for years during the Ruthless Aggression era. What for? Yes. Okay. So so that is her. Yeah. And like I said, she's fine. You know, she's positive. You know, she's doing these overreactions, so she doesn't bug me. I got no issues with her. Again, like I said, better than Joe Cornette. At least she's a little bit more positive. But again, I respect her content and I respect her. So I don't really have anything bad to say about her. Uh, so let's see. Little over 40 minutes. So far so good. Four viewers. So let's see here. Give you guys a minute to send me more questions. We got a little bit of time left, so let's see. Imagine AJ Styles for say grow. Like AJ, especially his prime A, grow back in his prime, still alive. Oh yeah. It's funny. When you take A grow back in his prime versus the roster today, he can have so many classics. It's not even funny. That's how good A Guerrero was. But then again, look at the roster, some of the best talent you have right now. W2K has been canceled, LO. Well, I don't blame him after the bomb of 2K20. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. So we might not get another wrestling game for a while. In fact, probably I would say we might get an AW video game before we get another WWE game. It could be next year before we get a WWE game. I say we need to bring back the SmackDown vs. Raw series, and we need GMO back. That's what we need. Did you ever like Howard Finkel? I definitely respected him. I never grew up on Howard Finkel, so I don't have that emotional connections like a lot of other fans have had. But his voice is iconic, so there's no denying he will go down as one of the best announcers ever. And you can argue that he was the greatest. There's no denying that he changed the business for years. He just had that recognizable voice. that will be recognized for years to come. Once you hear that voice, you just go, there you go. That's iconic. He really did. He really was the voice of wrestling, at least at WWE. He was the voice of wrestling. Just, you hear his name when you announce certain wrestlers and saying, like, and no! Just the way he did it just sounded epic. It was epic. And it's felt real. He was a game changer for wrestling. And all he did was announce. But his announcing was so unique, so stylish, and just so iconic that it's hard to forget someone like Howard Finkel. Thoughts of Tessa Blanchard as TNA World Champion? Doesn't bother me. I mean, again, I don't watch TNA. But I mean, Tessa Blanchard being champion doesn't bother me. I think Tessa's hot. I think she's a great wrestler. So I don't really have a problem with it. Doesn't bother me. It's just I don't even watch the product. So if I didn't like Tessa Blanchard, like, I don't care because I don't really watch TNA anymore. So this is way I stopped at SmackDown vs. Raw 2005. Well, this is why. Okay. I mean, to be fair, there were some good WWE games after that. But like the 2K games, they are just almost get repetitive. But that's one game I gotta get. I gotta get Raw vs. SmackDown 2005. But the problem is I don't have a PS1. Or it's a PS1 or PS2. I think it's a PS2. I don't have a PS2, so I can't get SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. But if the Zeus PlayStation console does play those games, I'll get that game. Or if there's a way I can download on my PS4, which I've tried and I don't think it's on there, I'll play it, but I would love to play SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. Especially GM mode. Imagine Rey Mysterio in his prime in WWE right now. Oh, it'd be excellent. But then again, Rey Mysterio isn't bad right now. Like, he's still great in the ring. His matches with Andrade are proof of that. Like you said, that's not Rey in his prime against Andrade. And he was having some of the best matches in his career against Andrade Cien recently. Now, like you said, imagine if it was Rey pre-injury, injury-prone Rey versus Andrade. They knock it out of the park every single time. I couldn't imagine. They could go on for an hour non-stop and probably have the best Iron Man match in history. Miz apparently as heat backstage for being sick. I hope that's why he didn't lose the tag titles. Actually, now that I think about that, actually would be, you know, now that actually would make sense. That would make sense. So New Day's are tag team champions once again. Who fucking cares? I'm so done with New Day. Can we break them up? I'm sorry, am I the only one that's sick of New Day? I'm sick of the New Day shit. Am I the only one? Very time champions. Okay, can we just stop? Stop giving belts now. It's old. Stop getting 10 belts, split them up. Can we please do that, please? I would appreciate that. Imagine Orange casting the Dream as a tag team. It'd be interesting. It would definitely be interesting. Can't lie about that. Be very intriguing. And the funny you say Orange Cassidy Dream because they actually had a match. You can actually find it on YouTube. At Evolve show, Velveteen Dream versus Orange Cassidy. That match actually exists. I just looked on YouTube. You can find it on Evolved. Miz did deserve that. I know you're not high on the Miz, but this man works really hard. No, he did. I'll say it. When Miz had that IC title run, he was very good. He was one of the best champions. But let's be honest, after that, he's been cooled off immensely. But then again, it's not my decision to bury the guy. If he got sick and he has backstage, he lost the titles, then that's on him. And let's be honest, that's not the first time the guy's got major heat. Remember the whole bag incident with Chris Benoit? We all know that story. It sucks, but it is what it is. What am I going to do? If you're a tiny division, it's not really that great right now. So, now imagine Naito and Orange Cassidy. Okay, thoughts on Britt Baker heel run so far in AEW? I think she was born to be a heel. My problem is I don't get Britt Baker. She's just not good in the ring. Every time I see her, I'm just like, oh god. Seriously, like every time I see Britt Baker, I'm just like, oh Jesus fucking Christ. I'm done with this. Move on. Like she has go away heat for me. I'm sick of seeing her. Like where the fuck is Rio? Where's Bea Priestley? Where is your real greatest women's wrestler right now on that roster, Bea Priestley? Where's she at? I want to see her. I don't want to see Britt Baker on my screen all the fucking time. Great heel, but as an in-ring worker, she does nothing for me. She's dull. She's boring. It's repetitive. Every time I see her, I want to skip her match. So where's the remote? That's all I honestly feel. Miz and Chris Benoit, I never heard of that. You've never heard that story. Okay, I'm kind of surprised. Knowing as a big wrestling fan you are, I would figure you would have known that. So, I'll explain. I'll tell you this little story. And for those of you that know this story, you know exactly what happens, but I'll tell it anyway. So, basically what happened was when The Miz first came into WWE to wrestle, he didn't know anything about wrestling. He was just the MTV guy. And that's how he got into the business. He was the MTV guy. He wasn't tough enough. He was the runner-up. He got a contract, and he was in there. He was in the WWE locker room, and he became a WWE guy. But a lot of the wrestlers did not like The Miz. They just thought that he was a scrawny kid. They didn't like the rookie. They thought the guy had no passion. He didn't work for this business. He just got out here because he was on TV. And the guys in the back wanted to punish this guy, but there's like, well, we can't just punch the guy. We can't just punch him for no reason. So one day, Miz was eating chicken. And this is true, Miz was eating chicken in the locker room, and he spilled chicken crumbs in the bag of Chris Benoit. And the top found out, and they basically said, there we go, let's punish this kid. So they punished him, and they took him to the wrestler's court, which was a thing. As punishment, he was forced to not change in the locker room for 6 months. He was forced to change in the public bathrooms for 6 months. Swear to God, that's a true story. Wrestler's court was a huge thing back then. They did not fuck around on wrestler's court. And the best part, Vince McMahon was not a part of it. It was all the locker room. But that is the infamous story. Miz spilled chicken crumbs on the bag of Chris Benoit, and he was punished for it. That's the story in a nutshell. I think there's a little bit more detail in there, but that's the basic summary of it. I'm sorry, Ian Sam remembers. He comes out like a jerk. He just annoys me. I never liked him. I think he's supposed to be a heel, but then I don't know if he's being a character or being himself. But Sam Roberts always annoyed me. I was just like, dude, get this fucking guy off. His voice is annoying. I just don't like the guy. He just comes up as just obnoxious. It just makes me want to punch the guy. I would take the SmackDown locker room 2002, 2005 over Raw 2004. Cough, cough, Triple H. Stupid Reign of Terror. Well, if you remember, the Reign of Terror actually started. Well, yeah, it started in 2002 of Raw. Yeah, it went from 2002 from Raw to 2005 was the Reign of Terror. So it didn't start 2004. It actually started 2002, went all the way to 2005. But yeah, no, SmackDown, I would say SmackDown 2002, 2003 were the best years of SmackDown. Easily. No one will deny that. When people ask me, what are the best years of SmackDown? They will say 2002 and 2003. Those were the best years. And SmackDown during like late 2016, early 2017, when Ryan Ward was in charge, SmackDown was great. It was a great show. But you're not going to compete with 2002, 2003 SmackDown. Those were just unbelievable shows. I love those shows. I heard about that chicken situation. Miss brought it up back in his promo 2010 here. Remembers the chicken crumb spilt was on referee's bag. Wow, so it was Benoit's bag all the time. Yeah, it was. Well, obviously, he couldn't say Benoit because obviously what Benoit did, you were not allowed to say his name in WWE. But no, it was on Chris Benoit's back. Go find video of it. Go search it up. It's a fact. He spilled chicken crumbs on Chris Benoit's back. It was never a referee's. Miz did say that, so he wouldn't get in trouble because it was Benoit, and because you can't say Benoit's name. Would you date a young Stephanie during 2002 or 2003 or get a main event match at Mania? Fuck, I hate you. Okay, well, here's the thing. Would young Stephanie McMahon be married or not? Because if she was still married, then the obvious choice would be WrestleMania. But at this point, I probably would take the WrestleMania main event. I think young Stephanie back 2002 to 2003, in my opinion, was her hottest years. I'll say it right now. She was sexy as all hell. But I probably would rather be in the main event of WrestleMania. That would be something that I'll never forget. Because I could date any girl. Anyone could just date everybody. But main eventing WrestleMania is something that's once in a lifetime. Stephanie was hot, and Stephanie's still attractive to this day. But me personally, I would rather main event WrestleMania because that's every wrestling fan's dream. If they became a wrestler, is to main event WrestleMania. I would take the Mania main event over. Is Roman Reigns getting blacklisted? Yes. Yes, he is. The rumors are going around that Vince McMahon has ordered all WWE personnel to never mention Roman Reigns. And you know why? Because he probably have backstage heat. Because Roman left WWE because he did not want to be part of this problem. Roman Reigns walked out his Mania match because his health was more important. Because this guy has survived leukemia twice, and he realized if I got infected with this virus, it could be extremely fatal to him. And he's like, this ain't worth it. I'd rather stay home with my family and knowing that I'm going to be safe than rather take a risk and possibly get infected and die. And now he's getting blacklisted. WWE will not mention Roman Reigns. Like, really think about this. Notice for weeks they have not mentioned Roman Reigns by name. He still has his faces motion stuff in the beginning of the intro of SmackDown, but they have not mentioned him at all by name. I've always known that. Past few weeks they've not mentioned him by name. I thought that was always odd. They were talking about him before Goldberg's match, but like after Mania, it's like they stopped talking about him. Almost like they Chris Benoit him. He doesn't exist besides his video in the beginning of the intro. I would not be surprised if Vince told everyone's like, "Oh, I'm not mad at Roman. I'm not mad." In reality, he is pissed. He's pissed at Roman because that's the face of the company, and the face of the company is saying, "I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I want to be safe. I want to be with my family. I'd rather be healthy." Which at the same time, Roman deserves that. Okay, he deserves to stay home. He has a right. I'm proud of Roman for standing his ground. His health is more important. But the problem is, in Vince McMahon's eyes, who's the face of the company? Because we don't know how long this pandemic's going to last. Roman could be gone for months or a year. Because Roman has said he's not coming back to work until this thing is settled once and for all. Not like it's almost done or the pandemic will end in a few weeks. No. When this thing is over, 100% over, and everybody's cleared, everybody's not affected, he will come back to work. And we don't know when that'll be. And because of that, WWE is pissed at him. That's the only logical reason why they were not mentioning Roman Reigns. I would love to be in a room with Joey Styles punch JBL. You're goddamn right. I would get a picture of that. And that would have been my profile picture. That. If I went back in time and I witnessed that moment, I could take a picture. That'd be my current profile picture for Facebook or Twitter. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time? I think you said it was Big Show. Mine has to be Kane. Well, you probably misunderstood me. It was never the Big Show. There was a period I did like the Big Show, but he's not my number one favorite. So unfortunately, you are wrong about that, but that's okay. My favorite wrestler of all time, I think would be Christian. But a very close second would be Mick Foley. I've always been a huge Mick Foley supporter. I've loved Mick Foley to death, but I've always been a mega Christian fan. I've always thought Christian was completely underutilized and undervalued, underappreciated. He is the most underappreciated, underutilized talent ever existed. He is the legal definition of somebody being underutilized. That guy had all the tools to be a megastar. And all because of Vince. He never liked him. Vince just never saw anything in the guy more than Mick Carter. It was all Vince. If Vince was not in charge, Christian probably would have been one of the biggest stars in the company, but he was never as big as like Edge or Cena because of Vince McMahon. And that always made me mad because Christian had potential. But Vince didn't want to pull the trigger. He just saw nothing in the guy. He never liked him. Let's see. Probably answer a few more questions, and I guess I'll go in this. I would love to have had a match with Jushin Thunder Liger in his prime at WrestleMania, or win or lose, I don't care. I mean, Jushin Thunder Liger and Seymour. I think a lot of people will say the same thing. I mean, just the fact you got to wrestle someone like Jushin Thunder Liger. If I would have wrestled Thunder Liger, whether I won or lost, that would be an honor. I'd be saying, dude, I got to wrestle Thunder Liger. Who else can say that? Do you think Jimmy Silver got away with killing his girlfriend, Nancy? Look, I don't like talking about this stuff. Look, I don't know. I don't know. That's the best answer I can give because I don't like talking about this stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. Chris is the most overlooked superstar. Agreed. But he's mostly underutilized because they just never looked at Chris as anything more than Mick Carter. If I could go back in time, I would save Owen Hart from falling to his death. Yeah, yeah, the Owen Hart one really was bad. I mean, that happened live on pay-per-view. and the show still went on. That was one of the darkest days in wrestling. Like I said, I never watched that pay per view live, but I can't imagine for anybody watching that live, seeing that happen in front of their eyes on their TV screen, that someone legit just was killed. As a child, it must have scarred you for life. And especially if you're an Owen Hart fan, it had to break you bad. It would have had to just hurt you so bad. I couldn't imagine the feeling. I couldn't imagine the feeling. I can't imagine how anybody felt. But but I think we're gonna go ahead and end this stream off. Um, Go ahead, just end the stream off now. Um, Thank you so much, guys, for sending in your questions and comments. It was actually pretty cool. Um, I don't know when the next video would be. I just don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'll do my big review as always, but I don't know what I don't know what the next video will be. It'll be anything. I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see. But again, thank you so much for taking your time today to go to this Q&A. Send me some questions and comments. You all stay safe. Okay, don't be these overreactive pricks, but don't be these people that don't give a shit to say and don't take this seriously. Take this thing seriously, but don't overdo it. Protect yourself, but don't try to run over old ladies for toilet paper. So just stay home, stay safe as much as you can, protect yourself, and hopefully we'll get through this. And we will get through this eventually. So stay safe. Take care of my peeps. Have a safe evening. Have a good night.